So we're all set. Open the Southwick Park and Rec meeting for August 14th, 2024. President, myself, David Data-Lori, Dan Welsh, John Wally's on Zoom. Okay. I'm going to start off with public comment. If anybody's here for public comment, you come forward if you'd like. And if we get your name and address.
Greg Diley, 10 Salem Road, Chair of the EDC, Economic Development Commission. And just take a few minutes. I sent an email asking for a few minutes, so I hope I can have it quick. Sure. We've got an expanded EDC in this past year because now that we have the master plan, there's a lot more tasks.
Oh.
Our started out by doing a survey of the business, find out what things they wanted us to do. And the first priority was to do a shop local campaign. And we proposed doing a business directory, and we've done that. We got a business directory with 157 businesses, 30 restaurants. You can put it on your phone in a few taps. In 20 seconds, you can find any business, call them directly, go to their website, get their address, get their hours. And how many have gone to shopsouthwick.net?
Not yet. I'll make a note
Down there. But here's a reminder. If you'd like, put it on your phone. It's very convenient if you want one to. And their second priority was to promote Southwick as a recreational destination. And that's one we're focused on now. And we've got a couple ideas in the works, and I wanted to share one of them in the very early stage before we've made any kind of formal proposal. But like to let people know early, get a chance for input, build support before we go and formally propose it maybe the next couple months. And that is to, well, I'll back up and say, I like to go out to other towns and see who's doing it really well. And I think one town of similar size to us that's doing a really good job at this is Adams. And if you could share the Word file on the screen, just hit share down in the green button in the bottom. And then just select that in the bottom left. Share, hit the share again. Share button again. Here's an example of some signage that they have. Here's one that's on one of their trailheads, because they have some trails down below Greylock. And it's bolts right on to the side of 4x4 post and a kiosk. Adams, explorers welcome. After your adventure on Gould Trail, explore the attractions, culture, and dining events in downtown Adams. Use this QR code. Explore, hike it, bike it, see it, ski it. And they have this, scroll down on that Word file if you can. They have it in other places, like along their bike trail. They even have a little map and downtown ahead, shopping, dining, arts. And the idea of a QR code that then takes them to a website that shows all of their things of interest to visitors. And, that made me think, we've got the website, we've got all the places on it, we can do anything we want on that website.
4 kiosks on the rail trail.
There's 4 on the rail trail, and that's my interest in this committee is particularly the rail trail. So there's potential points, and scroll up because I found a bunch of potential points.
Scroll up.
Well, down on the Word file to the page below. Scroll down, I guess. We have several that are done by the Conservation Commission, which I met with the conservation, explained this to them. We've got a couple at the boat ramps north and south. I've met with Lake Management Committee. We've got one at the wildlife management area. Scroll a little further. And as you mentioned here, a couple of them on the bike trail. And I know that we have 4 of them there. And then the north and south bike ramps and New England Trail too, which I don't know. Who manages that kiosk? Is it AMC or somebody in town?
Not us. I'm not.
Okay.
Not
All right, but
sure who manages that.
we'll track it down. So I thought we could do something like Adams is doing, scroll a little further, and this will get an artist to do it. I threw this together in 10 minutes. But just an idea of a little bit further. A little further there, higher. Put that right in the middle of the scroll, if you can. So I have some kind of motto. I suggested go up a little bit higher. I suggested just to say, enjoy Southwick, bike and hike, golf, shop, boat, wine and dine. We have all of this here. Put it all in one place. And hit the QR code, and it takes you instantly to the trail maps, the bike map, and we've got some good resources online already, but this will be a central point where we can promote it to visitors and build traffic. So far to our business directory, we have, I think, about 600 unique users so far, about 3,000 page views, about close to 10,000 actions, events. I want to have 10 times that many.
How long has it been active so far?
Just since May.
Well, that's
But we're
a good start.
we need to promote it, and this is one way to promote it. So the idea is to, coordinate it with the other commissions and committees to, these could hook on to existing kiosks that we have without interfering with anything that's existing on it. And some of them don't have much on them either, but maybe this will be a motivation to fill them out. I noticed on the bike trail, we have at least one that's sponsored by a local business, Mike BT. That's a nice idea. They're maintaining it and put a little,
Yeah, and
Ad
the one
for
on Beating Hills, I believe.
yeah, on Fitting Hills Road on 57. That's, well maintained. Anyway, this would also get attention. You can walk right up to it, and in a second, you can be on the site with any phone and find any business and every detail. And scroll one more time. I will have them come up with a landing page, but we would have flexibility on the landing page. And the idea here is we could send them to a little further. We could send them to a recreation guide that would give all of our golf and boat and hike and bike. We can send them to dining maps, 1 or 2. We could send them to our full Shop Southwick site, which has 157 businesses, or anything else we want to send them to once they get to the center. We'll also throw in some nice photos and make it attractive and make it compelling. But the idea is to just start promoting. And I just wanted to share that and so that you have it in mind when the proposal comes up, or if you have any thoughts in the meantime, or any other locations you should think it should be, I'm open to it.
Okay, we oversee the town beach and Wally Park also, so maybe somewhere there. It's not my call to make. I mean, that's something we'd have to discuss.
All right, and again, we'll not necessarily put it in every possible. We have to get the cost of these and put it at the highest traffic places, the place we would get the most response. And we could make less expensive signs to put in, post in other places as well as businesses.
Just thinking offhand, rather than your picture looked like you were looking for something mounted on the side of the kiosk, it might be something better to put under the glass on the kiosk.
And that would be an
As
option.
far as vandalism wise and
Well, these
just to
these
protect-
signs that they have in Adams are weatherproof and very solid, and they're in a very solid frame and metallic, not
I'm
real
just
easy to
thinking
vandalize.
with
But-
with spray paints and
Yeah, no,
other things.
and we'd have to play around with it. I've not noticed over the last 6 months that any of the Adams signs have been vandalized, but might be
That's good.
different here. It might depend on location where they are. And putting them under glass, they might not stand out as much. And also, I didn't want to interfere with other displays you might want to have there. But we could put in some locations where we didn't want to put a sign there, we could have a version under glass.
Okay,
Okay,
sounds like a good idea.
Great.
Thank you.
okay, thank you for your time.
Have the minutes from June.
Or any other comments?
Any other public comments? Thank you, Dan.
You can unshare it now.
Because not anybody online with public comment? No. Okay, have the agenda or the minutes from June 14th, 2024. I know they were sent out. I'm not sure if anybody's had a chance to look at them. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor, David Data Laurie, aye. Dan Welch, aye.
John Wally, aye.
Do we have any bills from maintenance or anything else? No bills? Okay, move on to Wally Park. Jason, I think you had something. We'll get you going first.
Good evening, everyone. So,
Thank you.
Mr. Cuomo, he's our Wi-Fi guy, so. So as you guys know, I've been playing around with this hometown grant for quite some time. We finally narrowed down what we wanted. I spoke with Mike Shield. Mike Shield put me in contact with Dean Leclerc, and Dean Leclerc has put me in contact with Mr. Cuomo. What's interesting is, he came forward with the proposal for the Wi-Fi for the park. It's a new technology, I guess. Rob, could you unmute? If you can hear us?
Sorry. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Rob, can you just introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Rob Cuomo. My company is called Fast Links, based on the South Shore. Been in business since 1999. We focus solely in wireless communications, both point-to-point and point-to-multipoint. We have designed, installed, and support networks all over the country, but quite a few in New England as well. I was referred to you guys. Jason and I spoke. He shared some information with me, and that's where I came up with this design. It needs to be tweaked based on an on-site visit, but this unique product that I'm suggesting, number one, can be solar powered. So we don't need to run power everywhere you want to put an access point. Number two, since he was talking about a possible grant from T-Mobile, it could actually run off of the T-Mobile cell signal if we wanted to, or at least have the T-Mobile as a backup. So that would be, I'm sure, attractive to them. And it can be done quite reasonably and provide you with the Wi-Fi coverage for the park, at least the Wally Park that we looked at.
Thank you, Rob. So that's basically, I'm here tonight because I would really like to get this application out. But I would also like to get Rob, I was really kind of want to get with you, Dave, Kara, and anybody else from the committee and commission that come on out. So Rob, we can schedule a site visit, have them take a look at it. Rob, question for you is you have mentioned it that you were exclusive, are you proprietary or exclusive distributor?
I have a partnership with the distributor for New England. So
Is he the only one that makes this technology?
this specific technology, yes. I mean, wireless access points are everywhere. What's unique about this is, in particular, the solar powered aspect of it. And I think that would come in quite handy here. Otherwise, you're gonna have to run power to every location where you want to put up an access point.
Yeah, that's when you and I talked, that's what was great about this, so, and the reason I asked that is because with, public bid laws, depending on, and we were all over the threshold with this. The estimate for the, build out, we would have, if it wasn't proprietary, we would have had to go out that's why I wanted to ask that.
Okay.
I remember you saying that, so really, that's what I'm here for today, is just to get a site visit set up. So he can tweak this and then I can get the specifics into that. I do have a copy of the app. You guys, I don't know if you guys have even seen the grant application. My copy is at home, but I printed off the blank copy. This is for, all this stuff is for you guys to have. So you have it. And here's a few spare ones if any of the other members want down the road. So I just, like I said.
Yeah, I could meet you out there someday, as
Perfect.
long as I get a day or two notice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rob, why don't you send me some dates that work for you?
I will right now. My next week for me is pretty wide open. So if you guys want to pick a date for next week, I'm
Okay.
fine. Other than that, I'll have to take a look at my schedule, then we're probably looking into September. But I
Okay.
know you want to get this bid out for your grant.
The deadline for the
request.
grant is September 30th, so yes, I definitely want to get it out there.
Well, I will do my best to accommodate you guys, but like I said, next week's pretty wide open for me, so if you wanna let me know by tomorrow, if any of the dates next week work.
Check your
I just
calendar
want
for
to check,
dates.
yeah. I know Wednesday's the only day that definitively that doesn't work for me,
Yeah,
so,
just let me know and I can go.
okay,
You let me know by Friday. I'll
absolutely.
make it work.
I'll let you know before the end of the week, yeah, definitely.
Jason, I'll verify with my schedule and I'll get back to you via email tomorrow just to give you a couple dates.
Awesome, thank you, Rob, thank you for
You do
coming
it
in.
on, if you could do it on Thursday or Friday, I'll be around.
All right,
That
excellent.
work. Why don't we
Next
pick
Thursday.
Thursday? Next
Next
Thursday?
Thursday would work, yeah. David, are you
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, make that.
Kara, I'm assuming you'll be around.
So that's the 22nd. So it's fine for me right now, so.
And this, we could tweak this and even add on in the future, correct? Is this something we could add on down the road?
You're talking about add to this Wi-Fi network?
Yeah, is something you can tweak, add?
Sure. Oh, by all means. I mean,
I
this
see
is
a couple
all,
of dead spots on your map, and I mean, and I know the way you would set it up, you wouldn't know till you really got there, but,
right.
that would be something this is up to the Park and Rec as far as how they want it covered.
Right.
I just wanted to see if it looked like, obviously, based on the technology, it was something that you could grow upon.
Yes, it's a mesh technology, so that means that all the radios talk to one another. They'll talk to the closest one, so it, in particular gives you redundancy, but also gives you the ability to continue to add and expand as needed, to cover additional areas. And this was a very conservative, those circles indicate kind of the radius of the signal. The signal goes much further than that, but that's the way I like to do it. I like to be very conservative. So that way we have a good meshing, we have, high capacity. Now, the one key that we'll have to figure out is where we get the internet from. Do we pull the internet off a cell tower? Do you have internet at the property? Or do we need to bring it there? And if we need to bring it, how do we bring it in? Do we bring it in from another location nearby? Or do we, the same company that has the relationship with this manufacturer also has a relationship with Skylink. We can bring it in through satellite, and there's, very strong and robust internet connections through the Skylink connection as well. So we can talk about that next week.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Do you have a time?
I'm coming off from the South Shore, so it takes me about 2 hours. So how's any time between, let's say, 9 and 10?
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So let's shoot for 9 a.m. right now,
No,
if that works for you guys.
I can do 9, I can do 10. I said 10 because it would give you a little bit of flexibility. Like I said, my ex-wife lived down over there in Fairhaven, so I know where you're coming from.
All right, well, I'll put it in as 10. 10 o'clock on my schedule. So next Thursday, unless something comes up.
All right. And that is all I have, guys. If anybody has any other questions, you can direct them to me and I'll get to Rob.
Yeah, once I look through everything.
Yeah, any questions, Dave, just get them to me and I.
And Jason, you got the spec sheet I sent you, correct?
Yep,
Okay.
I gave him
There's
a
a
copy
lot
of
of
spec
good
sheet.
details in there.
Might be a little foreign to some of us, but
Myself.
Understood, but-
I'll look through everything.
Like I said, the key is it's solar powered, it's got great range, and even even if you go for days without a lot of sun, it goes for like 4 or 5 days without any sun. So
Wow. that was one of my questions I was gonna ask you down the road, so that's very interesting. Wow, 4 to 5 days. All right, excellent.
all right,
Thank
well,
you. Rob.
thank
We'll
you for
talk to
having
soon.
me.
Thank you, Rob.
Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
And that is it.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Jason.
Thursday at 10 o'clock, we'll see
Yeah,
everybody.
anything changes, just let me know.
Will do. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jason.
Take care, John. Next thing on the agenda is the spray part. Guess Nicole,
Sure, how you guys doing today?
good, you can come up if you'd like, or
I'll come over.
Yes, fine. Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
So we know who you are.
Hi, Nicole Parker, the Chief Administrative Officer. Hi, Mr. Wally. I was really looking forward to meeting you in person at some point. So here
Well,
we
I'll
are.
be back in town Tuesday night.
Great.
I'd love to
So-
meet with you.
Oh, great. So, you know, it was brought to my attention a few weeks ago that there was nobody to oversee the construction of the spray park, so we couldn't allow the construction to start. And the people that were recommended to me to ask to oversee it either couldn't, or the conflict of schedule or whatever. So I was coming here tonight to tell you that I don't have anybody, and does anybody have anybody? But luckily for us, Joe D this morning, you know, he asked me about, you know, about what's happening with the spray park, and I said, unfortunately, nothing. I'm not an engineer. I can't oversee it. I don't, so he went around and take it from there.
Yeah, so we read the paper a week ago or so and it said that it wasn't gonna happen, and I know John wanted it done by this year. I got a call this morning from Crestview asking where it really does stand. Cause they were hoping to get some stuff in the ground this year, just to make sure they had all the pieces, not so much getting it done and turning it on. Cause we're running out of time, as we all know and see. But I went and saw her, and really she wants someone in charge of it. I can't imagine why.
Hmm.
But she doesn't want it to get away from us like usual. Actually, I went home for an hour, and you know how I am, can't put anything to rest. So I reached out to John Goddard. So John did a lot of the work at the Greens there. He was actually hired to come in to maintain that project. And almost like a construction supervisor would probably be the best way to say it, not an engineer. So after a lengthy talk with John today, and maybe a little bit too much hugging, he agreed to be the construction supervisor on the project.
Okay.
As long as I would help him with all the small stuff, and between the both of us, he would do it.
what do you mean by small stuff?
I have to get
I
the
mean, once
coffees,
we
I
get
believe.
rolled-
I think I have to get coffees, muffins. I believe that's the small stuff.
Okay,
All right.
no, I just,
On the-
once we get it rolling, I'd like to get it rolling and
Our task is to get it up and running. Our task isn't to run it. That's good luck with all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so the theory is, and Crestview's out about 6 weeks right now. Anyways, John is out about 6 weeks before he can even get this on his plate. So we're hope 6 to 8 weeks they would start. It's gonna be fall.
I'm just,
Understood.
that would give us enough time if it's
He-
mid-October.
Yeah, I give him enough time to get, he figures most of it in, but at least enough in to make sure we have all the pieces. So if something has to be ordered, it's ordered over the winter. And it gets finished in the spring if push comes to shove. And we get the ball rolling. So that's our proposal. If you guys don't want our help, that's fine too. I'm good.
There's no issue with safety around the construction site as they.
No, I don't think
started
it will be no
finish it.
different than if they started it today and ran into an issue. You know, that's all part of it and that'll be taken care of. It's just, I'm sure whatever they opened, they would close. Right?
It
We
should-
would never
Should
leave
be all
anything.
fenced in before they
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
start.
Yeah, they'll have the construction
Yeah,
fencing,
yeah,
I'm sure,
yeah.
around it.
So we can either kill it till spring if that's what you guys feel comfortable about, but if you wanna at least get something in the ground this year and get the process moving forward, we're here to help.
John, you've been dealing with the majority of this. What are your feelings on it?
Well, if they're willing to oversee it, I'd say let's go with it. If it's okay with Nicole, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's not, I don't wanna say that it's all me. It's really, you know, the town and a town-owned project really needs some peer review. Regardless, but it's a relatively small project. I think that John can completely handle it.
Yeah.
And is willing, so.
Yeah.
And has the expertise to be able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, he'll have some time at home and, you know, we'll figure out how we take care of him on any financial end. But, overall, he's on board and that's what matters.
Yeah,
And this is something Crestview is definitely gonna be doing the job. I know there had been a little talk about maybe putting it out to bid. It's definitely something's gonna,
well, that's the unique thing with the DPW is that they go out to bid for small equipment operators. So they actually, which I've never seen before, but they actually go out and bid for these types of machinery and operators. So he is good with.
So if
with
you
that,
press through DPW's hourly rate program that they have for any equipment.
which is
that's needed,
prevailing wage. They do
Prevailing
pay
wage also.
prevailing
Yeah,
wage,
it
so
works.
they're all set. Honestly,
I
it
just
was-
want to make sure with all that before we
Absolutely.
start. I think it would be a good idea myself, John, just to get this going. I mean, if we had them start in the springtime, I mean, depending what they have in the spring, we're looking at April at the soonest to get going on something like that, and then another month before it's.
Joe has a great point that, we think we have everything that goes in the ground. But I'll make a motion that we go ahead with John Goddard to oversee it with Joe's help and get the project rolling.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor? David Data Laurie, aye.
John Wally,
Rose.
aye.
Good day.
Okay, well, if you need any help or get anything
Thank you, Joe.
moving before then or donut money, let me
Well, if you
know.
could get a list of how they
Thanks,
get
Joe.
it, that would be great, you know, I just.
Who's that? Rusty?
Whoever.
Okay, I'll do that. Well, I noticed you still have one of your things at the motocross. Maybe you can just haul it across the parking lot? Thank you. Appreciate you helping us out on this.
Yeah.
Like, go to pickleball, what, the other things about, I had with the lights and, lights on the doors, does that come under old business? Or should I put that under Wally Park? Okay. Next item is pickleball. If we have any updates on that, I know, John, you said you had a little discussion with that.
Yeah, we had a meeting of the subcommittee, and Randy White was there, and Richard was there. And we thought that the best thing to do is start over again and get 3 bids for 6 pickleball courts at the park with lighting and fencing and everything that goes along with it.
Okay,
We think if we do that, we might require some more money. So we thought we should go back to the CPC after we get 3 bids and ask for whatever additional money we need.
This may
There's
have
a
to go.
problem because apparently we can't spend. It's got to go through town meeting again. Because nobody thinks that the 4 and 2 are a good idea. We talked to a lot of people involved in pickleball, and they all say the same thing. All 6 courts should be in one spot.
Okay. And
So
that we need a
whatever
whole-
we do, we should go out to bid again, and then go to the CPC and request whatever extra funds we may need. But it's got to go to town meeting anyway, because they voted for 4 and 2. And
Okay.
there's specific monies for the 4 and the 2. We can't combine them. So we gotta go back to town meeting. It's the bottom line.
Okay, did Randy give you ideas of vendors that could supply us with bids?
He has several vendors, including Crestview. But I think it's up to us to go out and our subcommittee can meet again and come up with a request for proposal, and then bring it to the whole committee and vote on that, then get the proposals in, and then go to the CPC with those 3 or 4 quotes. And then to town meeting to say, yeah, okay, build all 6 courts in one spot. I think that's the way we have to proceed.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Diane, do you have any input on that?
Did you hear me whisper?
I hate to
Um,
pick on you or anything.
I believe that they were two separate votes. and
Yes,
I
they
don't
were.
think you can undo both votes. You can maybe renegotiate the Wally Park one, and Joe will know better.
Yeah, so John, you're right. You can't do 6 courts where you guys have 4 courts. So you gotta, basically, I think you have to have Park and Rec not want their monies for that, right? You guys have to have your meeting, vote on that not going through. The money stays with, on the floor, right? So the money stays with CPC. You guys will get 3 new quotes from John's committee, go back to CPC through the process.
And start all over
Yeah,
again.
start up, which is, I mean, the groundwork's laid, right? It's not
Yeah.
rocket science. Get what you guys really want. Back to CPC, they'll vote on it, it'll go in front of town meeting in the spring. The bigger problem is you have 2 courts for the senior center at town hall. In the senior center, and I'm not, well, maybe I'm senior, they believe they want that, that's what they voted for. So you either, somebody in this room needs to go back to this, the senior center board
Okay,
and find out what they really want, and I understand, John, maybe not the courts we all thought they were, I get that. But in their eyes,
I can do
they're
that.
getting a
Before I
court,
get on their agenda someday.
so you need to either get that voted down. Or have a long talk with those folks.
So I went to the senior center meeting yesterday,
yes.
they still want it.
That they have made it.
They asked when it's coming here.
But I
Paul
guess
and I were there.
it's a question.
Jason, we were the ones that started this.
And they were.
The plan.
But do they have the funds to do their?
This is the equipment, no, they're probably a lot more familiar with it than I.
I don't
Talk
think
about
Rob
pickleball
that thought
courts
they
now.
had the money in their vote, in their too either, correct, John?
I think because it's tile, it was a lot less expensive. I don't think they have enough funding.
Yeah, theirs were about $35,000 each, and the ones at Wally Park were like $70,000 each.
And I don't remember what the amount of money was, but see.
Well, needless to say, that needs to be investigated and figured out.
Yeah,
It's about
with,
70.
yeah, I think we were a little short, but we'll get
Rick,
the
do
new
you-
bids on
the
that.
CPC funding request was for the 2 at pickleball at
Yeah,
senior center.
I think my notes are somewhere.
I should just keep those numbers on my speed dial, because I get asked them all the time.
Yeah, I've got them in my.
115,
For the ones at the town hall,
Yeah.
for the senior center.
was 207 for, the Wally Park and 115 for the other. For the 4 courts here,
So
Two here.
or 2 here, sorry.
would the 115 cover 2 courts here?
Would it?
Does John know that?
I don't have that answer, I don't.
Well, you have a quote, so it covers it, right? But is that what you want is the bigger question now. That money was funded on a quote, not just out of the air. So you have a quote, and you have a dollar value that goes with that quote, and we get the job done. I think the bigger issue now is maybe it's not what everyone thinks it is. Not so much the seniors, but as Mr. Wally and the crew have investigated. Pickleball courts. That
Yeah, and I was part of that crew.
Right, so-
Right, so.
that's where I think the problem is, there's money and you can build it. I'm not sure exactly what people are thinking they want.
Well, I'll meet with them if we have the agenda there sometime. Is they're the ones to talk to, or is there a different group to talk to? Probably them, and they can do what they want.
That's why there was 2 applications, I believe, one was really the senior center application, one really was.
Yep.
Like,
Relocated. I don't like
I
hearing
knew you
John.
would, I knew you would.
I don't blame that.
At the time, I didn't. It's a big deal. You do. So I hope that answers it.
Yes. Anything else to add on that, John, or think that sound like a plan moving forward? Anything else from you, Rick? on that?
Let me understand what, Kara, is the senior center really interested in pickleball courts? that, do they need them at the town hall or can they travel, what is it? Less than a mile to the, park?
I can answer that, Kara. It's Jason Chrome. So, John, I was at the COA meeting this week with Nicole, and they clearly said that we were the ones that brought this forward. We're the ones that really got this started. The reason we wanted the pickleball courts two here was for the seniors. They're very adamant about wanting those two courts here, because they don't really know how they would structure it. Are we gonna bus people over? Are people gonna have to walk and they're senior citizens and they don't want to walk any more than they have to, and I don't blame them. But they were very adamant about that, hey, we were the ones that brought this forward. And, we want our two pickleball courts, and Nicole was heard it too, so.
Yes, Diane?
I have seen in other towns where they have combined courts at their parks for seniors and they reserve those at certain days and times for seniors only. So they could have that. And in my mind, if they're driving to the senior center to physically exert themselves to play pickleball, walking from their car to the pickleball court should not be an issue.
My thoughts exactly, but. Yeah, I've seen that also, and I figured that was probably gonna be part of our ground rules once we get that going.
Absolutely. And if that's the most effective way to build premier style courts for everybody's enjoyment, I would think they could be convinced, given reservations for that. Just giving you.
Okay, that's another discussion with them. I'll meet with them also. Anybody else have anything?
But
to
that'd
add?
just be good for the town to say it's more efficient to build 6 versus 4 and 2.
Yeah, especially in front of the town meeting doing that. I think that would go across a little easier.
But if we can't rescind there too to get our 6, that's gonna be difficult to argue with them to practice.
I don't know if that's what's in play. I know I missed part of this, but what we had talked, John, myself and Randy White had talked about as a subcommittee is that we believe that the one, I know there were 2 bids out for the 2 places, but the one bid we got for Wally for the 4, we believe we can turn into 6 regardless, without asking for more. Is that right, John?
That was Randy's contention. If we used Crestview
Yeah.
like we are for the spray park, that
We believe we have a way to get there, and so we were thinking we would do the 6 instead of the 4, moving the 2 down there and give that money back, but we know we couldn't do that in a vacuum. Just so you guys know, that was the discussion we had as a subcommittee.
Maybe once we get our bids, we'll see
That's what
where
we
we
need to
are
do.
and
Yep,
and
that's
go from
exactly
there.
what we need to
So
do.
maybe
Yep.
it's the next thing we should do.
Nicole, can they put 6 in when the paperwork says 4? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Town meeting voted for.
Well, we're going back to the town meeting either way, so,
All right, fair enough.
okay.
But
Well,
if we
we
can
could-
we can go back and get 6 in for the price of 4, that should help get it approved. It may help get it approved.
We need the bids.
Yeah, go from there.
Thanks, Nicole.
Rick, when can we meet again?
Tomorrow, whatever I'll get with you.
I'm away until Tuesday,
Okay.
so
Let me-
anytime later
because
next
I-
week or the week after or whatever.
Yeah, I go to Texas for a couple days next week, so we'll get together after I get back from that. I'll be back
Okay.
Friday. Okay,
We can get together over the weekend too, if you want.
all right, fair enough. I know where you live.
Pick a time, I'll make time.
Perfect.
So much
All
for
set up.
pickleball.
Hey, you said it, John.
I'll sit on pickleball.
The only other thing I have for Wally Park, I know our pavilion lights have been on quite a bit when people should be using them, like turn on after dark and being left on till the following morning. At least a half a dozen times in the past month and a half. So I've been having Karen, who's up there on Saturday nights, locking the woman's room door, which is where the electrical panel is. at dark on Saturday nights. The electrical panel is locked, but it's also bent. And you can open it up even when it's locked now. So I wanted to revisit doing the automatic locks on the doors, at least the main building by the pavilion again, so we could at least set those at night. There's also been like tons of beer cans. Maintenance has also said there was 3 bags full a couple of weeks ago, the night after all the lights were left on. So I just would like to revisit the lock thing. Maybe just for that building. If anybody has any ideas on that?
I think from the previous information that we had on that, there were a couple of bids. One was really high on doing like the, hey, you can do the locks from remote, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the other one was to set timers. And I'm still of the opinion that, we don't need the,
The expensive one?
4x times the amount to do things from our cell phones. We can set them for a time limit, and if somebody's getting after that, we can go down there and open them.
They open for the inside still. If someone is locked in there and it goes quick because of your timer.
Yeah, they can still,
always get out.
They can,
So it's not
yeah,
a problem.
yeah.
I think the least expensive bid was 5,900 for 4 doors. I don't think we really have to do the bathrooms that are set farthest away by the ball field.
Yeah, it's just the one by the pavilion.
Yeah, because that controls all the lighting for the pavilion, and the panel is bent again and doesn't lock right. And I think we're just getting too many people going up there after dark, just drinking and leaving the lights on. I mean, if they left the lights on for an hour, but nobody shuts them off, and the maintenance has complained a few times about that. So I think the locks on those 2 would be definitely worthwhile.
Jason, did you have?
Yeah, just on a side note, I did ask when we were talking, I was talking to Rob about the Wi-Fi mesh system. That is something that system is capable of, if you guys have that problem.
For sure, and that was one of the.
I
things,
think that
right,
was
that other bid was.
The expensive quote.
Exactly, because it basically it operates through the cloud, and the Wi-Fi would help, right? Because without the Wi-Fi, you're not getting it
You're not
anyway. It would,
getting it.
you, even if you were standing next to it, it wouldn't work. Yeah, we knew that was a condition of that, but I still think it's just not necessary. That's my perspective as a technologist. I don't think it's. I'm agreeing with you that I think we need to revisit it. I just don't think we need to go that direction.
That's what I'm thinking. I really think we should have locks on that, at least shut it down at night.
Do we have, budget for that?
I mean, we have money in a revolving account we could use.
Check. We bids.
Well, we are,
Still have that.
we still have it. They were from last year, so they should be somewhere
Somewhere close.
close. And the lower bid was 5,900 for the 4 bathrooms, but I think if we 3,000 for the 2 bathrooms, I think, and that'll cut down on the vandalism also,
Yeah,
which has been relatively good so far this year, but not always the case.
I'd be in favor of that.
Anybody want to make a motion or any thoughts?
Maybe a lengthy motion just to, sorry, I'm in, legal mode here. I would make a motion that we, approve locks for those bathrooms as long as it doesn't exceed like $3,500. That would be my motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? David Data Laurie, aye.
John Wally, aye.
Aaron and I?
I think it'd be money well spent.
I think so.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's enough money, though, why you would make a motion with $1.
Because we already have one.
We already
Yeah,
have the quotes on it.
I got you that. quote.
Yeah. Okay.
But do you think it's gonna be in half, because it's too much doorknobs?
Most of the, I mean, most of the expense was wiring, and it's gonna be the same thing in both buildings. I mean, the same. It's not gonna be a lot less time because he's only doing two or a lot more than half the amount of time for doing two.
I'm just not in favor of cutting a blank check for this, right? So I would get it reported, so I would never.
Yeah, I'll call tomorrow, and get a report.
This will expedite that, right? Because we gotta get the bid. If it comes in at $3,500, it's approved. See what I'm saying? No, I mean, I appreciate the comment, but I mean, we could wait till the next meeting to evaluate the quote, or if we get the quote and it's under $3,500, it's done.
I mean, if you manually lock them like you have been at night and then maintenance is unlocking them in the morning until you.
Yeah, but it's
you get all that.
it's kind of a pain for getting
Well, no,
somebody
but
Friday,
until
yeah,
you guys settle.
Yeah. We'll keep doing that in the meantime. The only other thing on the fields, we've had somebody using the softball field for a good amount this year from Westfield State and a travel team without reserving the fields. I spoke with them about it and they said they would call. But I just wanted to make a note about that because we do have people paying money to reserve the fields and they have basically been using those.
So I guess, the question, I guess, is if they're using it but not reserving it, and they're not using it when someone else is reserving it, is there an issue?
I'd say there's an issue because maintenance has complained to me a few times, like when they are ahead of things and prepare the field on a
Okay, that
Thursday.
makes sense, yeah.
And then they don't come in until Friday to use the field and it's all tore up and the lines are all gone.
I think that's
It
fair.
becomes an issue at that point. And this person is known has had to reserve the field for years and just did it by not reserving them and
That's a fair.
going up
comment.
there. I think I just wanted to get that into our minutes, so
Yeah.
it doesn't happen again. I mean,
I think that's fair. I think like we've had people complain that they've showed up to like work out with their kid or something
no,
like
we-
that.
that's-
And then some
that's
other
fine.
team is there and that team didn't reserve it. Now it's like, well, who got there first and well, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm with you.
well, I think our policy has always been any teams, special
need to
travel
reserve,
teams, because
yeah.
there's no Southwick teams anymore.
Yeah.
That it's reserved, and I think all the coaches that use it do know that policy, but this one kind of skipped out on the whole thing.
Okay.
And took
I
advantage of
was
it.
just that, yeah, I was just asking, I'm agreeing with you. I just.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Not right all the time. And that's all I had for Wally Park. If anybody else has anything on Wally Park.
Just a comment that the in-town softball league is starting up. I got a notification, they would like to start the week after Labor Day. Do they have their paperwork yet?
She did the paperwork. For the whole season, so yeah,
Okay,
and she has her insurance, so.
okay, so she just needs to send a schedule. Yeah, okay, all right, I'll let her.
Here's a comment from the large diamond in Wally Park. Maintenance this year has been exceptional compared to past seasons. I go there on fire games on a regular basis, and it's been
Thank you, Dan. I
far
heard that too.
superior to previous seasons. Steve does a nice job.
So it's an excellent job. That's it for Wally Park. Next, we have the CPC plan, open space and recreation. Thank you very much.
We were asked to review a document from the CPC for the open space and recreation plan. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to review it, but they want us to review, mark up any changes that we have, and if we don't have any changes, just to let them know. And then their plan is to proceed with it if we have, well, whoever else is evaluating it, they're asking for us to evaluate our evaluation and then we get back to them. We have,
I was part of that to start with. I'll go through it.
okay. Yeah, I did look through it before I sent it to get it on the agenda, and I really didn't see anything I find to be. Better,
Nothing has changed.
nothing to change, yeah. Do you want to see a copy? Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
You need to. See if you already saw it.
So I've got it at home.
Okay.
Okay, all set on that. Next thing is the rail trail. Pioneer Valley Planning Commission is asking to do a count sometime during August when they do Westfields on our trail. I gave them to go ahead on that, so we get a count on how much use it's been getting. We have where the town parking lot is, there's a kind of an access off of the rail trail ale house. That's enough to get bikes through that they ended up putting in. I'd like to get something up top to block it, so it's just wide enough for bikes. Either boulders brought in or a gate, just to
Eliminate the
keep
motor vehicles.
snowmobiles,
Yeah.
quads, cars, everything else off of it that could possibly fit down there.
That's a good idea.
So I'd like to speak with somebody and get some ideas on that this week, if that's okay.
Yep.
I can give you all the rocks you need if you want rocks.
Sounds good. Your hay bales are working out well. We're on the second round of those. Yours worked out good the first time, Diane, but
Same spot.
same spot, but we had a ton of rain. They held up pretty good and kind of melted away. So John donated the second round, so those are holding good. So doing the trick.
I have plenty more.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Anything else on the rail trail or? Old business, we had the dog park, if anybody has any information on that.
Give you a little update on that.
Okay,
We have, this is Diane Gale, 5 Point Road, this is me personally. My personal position. We have incorporated, we have made all our applications for nonprofit status. We have selected the primary sites. Have I need to send a letter to the property owner with a proposal. And then we need to get some site plan work done and can bring you forward some drawings relatively soon on that and just let you know what the layout will look like, where we're gonna try to get that access to the bike trail as well. And,
Okay.
You know, get some input from you guys, make sure that would work for you,
okay,
what we're planning, where we're planning to put that. And whether they're designated parking or not, they're not. Well,
are you getting numbers together, kind of
Yes.
rough thing, so we'll have that, okay. Sounds good, moving along.
Is the cost of this gonna be covered through the fundraising that the nonprofit wants to do? Or is it gonna be additional budget up?
Certainly hope it's gonna be all through private foundation grants,
That's good.
dog related, open space related, recreation related. Wherever we can get, got quite a few sources.
It'll be nice to see your plans, see where we are.
There is really good buzz about this going around,
Oh,
so,
good.
yeah. I actually just heard something today on it, like there might be a dog park itself, like an event I just came through, so, yeah.
Excellent. We have one in my town that is really popular, used all the time. We're gonna have some unique features. We're gonna be a standout. Nice.
Love it.
For others.
You don't
And
wanna
I'm not
give 'em away yet?
reveal those yet, but we're gonna contribute back to the town with this
Well, that sounds good.
in a big way. We're gonna save some money.
You looking for something in the fall to get something to us, or not that soon? Okay,
Hopefully. We're in August now. It'll probably be late fall by the time we put the drawings together.
okay,
And I am consulting with Crestview, but it sounds like they're gonna be a little backed up here, but but he's helping me put those costs together.
oh, that's good. Well, thank you. Next thing is T-Mobile grant. I think Jason's covered everything already. New business. Anybody have anything they'd like to bring up?
I do not.
Okay, well, that's not a bad thing.
I know, I'm usually the one that brings a few things up, sorry. But I do not.
Dan, anything?
Nothing.
John?
Motion to adjourn?
Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. David Data Laurie?
Dan votes aye.
John Wally, aye.
All right.
Well, thank you, John. Appreciate all the updates.
John.
This
Thank
is our
you,
business
David.
in A little while. Thank you for all coming.
Thank you.
So I-
Hi,
Yeah,
John.
that's a great idea. We'll definitely discuss that.